Throughout history, love has remained one of humanity's greatest mysteries, a force that both inspires and confounds us. From Shakespeare's tragic Romeo and Juliet to James Cameron's timeless Titanic, we've always asked, what is love really? Is it a chemical reaction in the brain, or a kind of magic that defies reason? Do we love out of instinct, need, or something deeper that gives life its meaning? Erich Fromm, philosopher, psychoanalyst, and humanist thinker, spent a lifetime exploring this question. In his timeless masterpiece, The Art of Loving, Fromm reveals that love is not simply an emotion we stumble upon, but an art, a skill that must be studied, practiced, and mastered. Like music or painting, love demands both knowledge and discipline. It is not a stroke of luck, nor a fairy tale that unfolds effortlessly. To truly love, one must learn. And to learn, one must understand not just the heart of another, but the heart within oneself. Fromm's message is clear and profound. If we wish to experience love in its truest form, we must treat it not as a fleeting feeling, but as a conscious act of giving, understanding, and growing together. Love is not something that happens to us. It is something we choose, nurture, and become. At the heart of The Art of Loving, Fromm challenges one of the most common misconceptions, that love is effortless. We often assume that if we fall in love, everything else will simply work itself out. But Fromm reminds us, to love well, we must learn how to love. He identifies four essential elements that form the foundation of genuine love. Care. To love is to care, to be genuinely concerned for another's growth and well-being, like a mother tending her child. Love means nurturing life wherever it blossoms. Responsibility. Love carries with it an awareness of the other's needs, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and the willingness to respond with empathy and action. Respect. To love is to honor the individuality of another, to allow them to be who they truly are, rather than who we wish them to become. Knowledge. True love grows from understanding, seeing into another's inner world, their fears, hopes, and longings, and embracing them fully. Fromm insists that all forms of love begin with self-love, not in a selfish or narcissistic sense, but as a healthy regard for one's own humanity. Without compassion for ourselves, we cannot offer compassion to others. The person who despises themselves can only project that disdain outward. The one who loves themselves authentically becomes a wellspring of love for the world. Fromm explores different forms of love we experience throughout life. Motherly love, unconditional, nurturing, and boundless. Fatherly love, conditional, guiding, built upon expectations and responsibility. Brotherly love, universal love, the basis of human solidarity and compassion. Erotic love, a passionate union of body and soul, often exclusive but deeply transformative. Love of God, the spiritual yearning for unity, meaning, and connection with all of existence. Yet Fromm warns that modern capitalist society has distorted our capacity to love. In a world obsessed with consumption and profit, we have turned relationships into transactions. We measure our worth and the worth of others through status, appearance, and success, rather than kindness, integrity, and depth. We fall in love the way we buy, selecting the most appealing product and hoping it yields satisfaction. As a result, love becomes conditional, fragile, and performative. We invest in people as we would in stocks, seeking emotional returns and withdrawing when they fail to meet expectations. This commodification of affection, Fromm argues, is the greatest threat to genuine love. True love cannot exist in a marketplace mindset. To reclaim it, we must unlearn the habits of consumer culture and return to love's essence, the joy of giving without calculation. To master this art, Fromm offers 3 guiding principles. Discipline. Every art demands practice. To love, we must cultivate discipline. Daily habits that nourish our inner life: reading, reflection, exercise, and mindful living. Avoid escapism and passive entertainment. Instead, live deliberately. Concentration. Love requires presence. In a distracted world, learning to focus on oneself, one's partner, the present moment, becomes a radical act. The ability to be alone, calm, and attentive is the foundation of deep connection. Patience. No art is learned overnight. Like a seed growing into a tree, love matures through time and effort. We must embrace slowness, persistence, and the quiet beauty of gradual transformation. By integrating these principles, love evolves from a fleeting passion into a lifelong practice, one that deepens our humanity and anchors our relationships in authenticity. The Art of Loving is more than a book. It's a mirror held up to our hearts. Fromm doesn't offer easy formulas or romantic illusions. Instead, he invites us into the deeper truth. All often crave perfect love, yet neglect the most important step, becoming a person capable of loving. Love is not merely about receiving affection. It is about giving care, respect, understanding, and trust. When we learn to love in this way, we strengthen not only our romantic relationships, but also our bonds with friends, family, children, and even strangers. Love ceases to be an isolated emotion and becomes a way of being in the world. Fromm's insights challenge us to see love not as dependency, but as shared growth, not as possession, but as freedom, not as reward, but as commitment. In a culture that glorifies instant gratification and superficial connection, the art of loving reminds us of the slow, sacred work of the heart. Love, when practiced with awareness and discipline, becomes the ultimate expression of our humanity, the bridge between self and other, between the finite and the infinite. So if you ever felt lost in the maze of modern relationships, longing for something real, enduring, and true, perhaps it's time to pause and turn inward, to study not just what love feels like, but how to love well. Read The Art of Loving. Let it teach you that love is not luck, but learning, not a gift we wait for, but a skill we grow. And in mastering the art of love, we learn, at last, the art of living.